What is going on live on AMP, also on YouTube? Make sure you subscribe to the channel. I'm John Middlekauff. This is the 3 and Out podcast. You can find wherever podcasts are found. Monday Night Football. Patriots get a big win. And Kyler Murray looks like he suffered a major injury. Let's dive right in. Hey, sometimes on these Monday night games, you lose track of time. And, you come in late. I'm not a big pregame show. Like, I'm not looking to get RG3's takes on my Monday night. So I usually come in right around 6:20, but I'm always confused. Is it 6:15 or 6:25 Mountain Standard Time here in Scottsdale? And sometimes I'm too lazy to check my phone to see the exact kickoff time. So I realized, look down, it was like 6:22. I'm like, turn on Monday Night Football. And the first thing that came on my television was a dude on a cart. I'm like, this game had to just kick off. And then I look, it was 55. I'm like, is that? Oh my God. And it was pretty clear, very fast, that it was Kyler Murray. I immediately check on my phone and see the injury. And obviously, by the time I'm recording this, all reports are that he tore his ACL, which is an absolute devastating injury for the team. Even for a guy having a rough season, they drafted this guy number 1 overall, and they gave him a $200+ million contract and guaranteed him $170 million. That is a crippling injury to a franchise. And really tonight in this season, this team is a disaster. And that feels like icing on the cake. Like, what are they doing? How does, after tonight, with him now, who knows? I mean, the ACL injuries can take 9 to 12 months. He's a running quarterback. He's a guy, like, for him to come back, he has to be like a wide receiver or a DB. Sometimes quarterbacks can just live in that pocket. That's not how his game is predicated on excelling. So that injury, obviously, it's December 12th when he tears his ACL. I would say that for sure puts early next season in jeopardy, and who knows what that has in store for next year for Kyler. This post-contract has not gone well. Obviously, tonight's out of his control. But what's going to happen with Cliff Kingsbury and Steve Keim? In my opinion, I would blow the thing up. I would completely start over. This feels like and felt like tonight watching, and really a lot of this season, beside when Kyler would just make the miraculous play every once in a while. And this year he did it a lot less than previous years, like a rudderless ship. And I don't want to say this team quit, because Hopkins was trying at the end, and I think Colt McCoy is trying, and Budda Baker, when he plays, tries, and J.J. Watt tries. They just feel like they have no direction. They just feel like all this talent feels like it's being wasted. The Rams over the last month, since Cooper Kupp's been injured and Stafford's been out, and then Aaron Donald gets injured, and Jalen's kind of a shell of himself, they're playing with a practice squad level roster. But a couple weeks ago against Seattle, and obviously the other night against the Raiders, it felt this team is throwing every single punch they have. And of course they do. They have Sean McVay coaching them. So even on a season from hell for the Rams, they don't have their first round pick, which is going to be a top 5 pick. Their team, their record sucks. I mean, they might win 5 games at best. When you watch them, you respect them. When you watch the Cardinals, it's hard to really respect what's going on. And Michael Bidwell, I have no clue why, extended Kingsbury and his general manager after last season. And I know Kingsbury was going into the last season of his contract. This isn't college. You're not worried about recruiting. Why didn't he coach it out? Because he made the playoffs? Who cares? You guys got boat raced. You were curb stomped on Monday Night Football last year. And this year has bled right into that. The majority of the season, they've looked like that game on Monday night. And now Kyler's injured. Like, I would completely start over. To me, it makes no sense to roll it back and keep doing whatever the hell they're doing. I would honestly, this offseason, think about selling some of these parts and just tearing this bad boy down to the studs and maybe doing a complete redo. It's like, when super rich people, they buy a house, they're like, yeah, we just wanted a lot. We don't want any part of the house. We're going to bulldoze the whole fucking thing and build a new house. And hell, we might buy a lot next to it and do the same thing and build a mansion. That's what I would attempt to do, because this Cardinal franchise tonight felt kind of like the ending. It had been trending this way, but I don't know how you recover from the night. And on the flip side, I think people think that I'm like a Belichick homer, that I'm over the top and hyperbolic on how great he is in his career. It's like, what do you do without Brady? And I think this season, and honestly, even last, are a pretty good example. Mac Jones is pretty average. He'll never be any better probably than the 15th quarterback. And clearly, and you can win with the 15th quarterback. Kyle Shanahan's gone to the NFC Championship in a Super Bowl with Jimmy Garoppolo, who's right around there. The difference is Kyle Shanahan's had a loaded team. Star players at different positions. I mean, an excellent defense with a ton of impact guys. And Belichick has a good defense and really no impact guys on offense. Yet this year, and after tonight now, right, he's 7-6. He's playing the Raiders, who I like the Patriots this week, playing the Raiders. And then he ends with the Bengals, the Dolphins, and the Bills. If he's able to get to 10-7 this year and make the playoffs again in a conference with really good quarterbacks and teams with way more talent on his team than him, that is impressive. Now, can we be critical? He is the general manager. He's picking the team, obviously. And most people with a working brain and that watch football have been critical of the way Bill has built his teams. But you can also give him credit because the general manager, which is him, he's pretty average. And they're competing. And I don't know. I mean, if they win this week against the Raiders, they'll be 8-6. And then they basically just have to find a way to win 2 of the last 3. And who knows? Maybe that last week at Buffalo has the number 1 seed and they don't have anything to play for. So they just got to find a way to either the Bengals, who they'll be an underdog against, or the Dolphins, both games at home, to win one of them. I think we have to agree that if he goes back-to-back seasons with 10 wins, with Mac Jones as his quarterback, all these random guys playing wide receiver, and beside Judon, not that many impact players on defense. Some of these young cats he's drafted at DB look pretty good, but this is not the 07 Pats. This is not the 2015 Pats. This is I would say, average at best NFL roster. And you could argue it's problem bottom 20. Also, again, he created this and he chose this guy to be his offensive coordinator. I don't think there's a head coach in the NFL who could make the playoffs with Matt Patricia as his offensive coordinator. Now, you could argue maybe Belichick's ego is so big, he's trying to prove to everybody, look how great of a head coach I am. Look how great of a leader I am, that I can make the playoffs with Matt Patricia, a lifetime defensive coordinator. Check his defense is honestly not that great. One of the worst head coaches we've ever seen. And Joe Judge, a special teams coach, who was also one of the worst head coaches we've ever seen, coaching my quarterbacks. Those two guys running my offense, my quarterback, and my offensive line and calling the plays, and I'll make the playoffs with them. If he does that, again, he created this. We'll have to give him, as the kids say, his flowers. Because tonight, ugly game. I'll be honest, didn't watch 1 second of the regular broadcast. Not 1 second. Tonight was all Peyton and Eli. And for the most part this season, I've watched the regular broadcast because bringing Joe and Troy, the game has felt a lot bigger to me. And tonight, with these two teams, especially the Cardinals, and Mac's pretty boring to me, I couldn't take it. So I just, from the start of the kickoff to the end of that game, it was Peyton and Eli and whoever they had on, from, Key and Peele to Bill Simmons. They could have had on nobody. They could have had on a dog, and I was watching them tonight. And they entertained me. And the game was not that entertaining because the Patriots, when they win, and if they get to 10 wins, or if they end up 9-8, the only way they win is like tonight. They can't get into a shootout. It's why they have no chance against the Bills. The Bills have way more firepower than them. It's why when they play teams with offensive weaponry and they can score 24 plus points, they're at a huge disadvantage. That's why when you look at their schedule, the Raiders like them against the Raiders. Don't like Derek Carr matching up against them. The Bengals, that's going to be a tough matchup for them. The only saving grace on the, it's at home. Maybe Belichick can throw some curveballs at Joe Burrow. Going to like the Bengals there. But I got news for you. When Tua Tagovailoa rolls into New England and it's freezing cold and it's snow's coming down, sleet's coming down, it's wet, you can't grip the ball, I don't like Tua. I'll promise you that. I like Tyreek and Waddle, but I don't think their quarterback can get them the ball. So if they can beat the Raiders game, they can beat the Dolphins game, and maybe hope that the Bills don't have anything to play for. The Patriots could be in the playoffs. Now, they're pretty clearly, like last season, would be a one-and-done team. Because at the 7 seed playing the 2 seed, which would probably be the Chiefs, adios, Bill. But I do give you credit if you go 10-7 back-to-back years and make the playoffs back-to-back years with Mac Jones. So that game was the end of the Cardinals, and the Patriots just won't die. And they never will die as long as Bill Belichick is their head coach.